All right. I was up till like 2 in the morning last night or this morning, and I got up early. It's snowing, so I got a chance to do this topic stuff. I got into veganism and all that, and I wanted to really get into this stuff, but I ended up getting into looking up at the word delve and how delve sounds like devil. And when you look up the definition, let's do it right now. This is a precursor to my beat presentation. I like to freestyle and get in the zone, especially new moons, tuning into kind of like what I'm into right now. And I like to put it together too. Getting into the order of nature and optimization, energy optimization. Opt is top, opt is optic, how an optic is opt, IC. So playing around with symbols and sounds, tying and untying, um, which is also getting into timing and like the N and the M at the center of the alphabet, and just also getting into the M and the W with man and woman. With we're looking at the W as a reflection from the M. If we could also look at light and shadow, um, also like window, and then you get into window sill, which also gets into syllable, which has label, and a bowl, which is a pole. A is the one. A is at the beginning. So now with A, it's also one is also the symbol of the L when you put it right next to L, N, N, O. If you type M and the N like cursive, right, we see the L and the O, which side. There's different ways of looking at this. Um, but we can also see the I, like the 9, another the top number, or the 10 when it's connected, like the I over the L. I'm just doing this with my fingers right now. It's easier. Um, this gets really deep, and I see this getting into light, which is L and tie, right? And then we get into tile, like on the ceiling, those the squares. So now when we look at, we could say the cube or the square, see alchemy, another with the A. I'm gonna get into the shit. Uh, Damn, because they say the predate, what predates everything is that symbol, right? Is that symbol. We see the G, we see that ghost right there, but that symbol, um, assemble, assemble. When you put A before symbol, you can see assemble, like putting together. This shit gets really deep. So we say a pole, pole has L2, L getting into life, lift, and the LIF, which is 1296, which breaks down to 396, which is also the 369. So when I see this shit, I'm looking at quarters. Because LMNO, we can also see omni. When we play around with the symbols, L can also look like an I. So this has to say, they say seeing around corners, like that box. So this cat, this troll last night was calling himself Samuel Jackson, ripping off some Samuel L. Jackson, like I rebuke you, off some biblical shit like in Pulp Fiction. That's my feeling. He's coming up with some character. I won't lose my train of thought though. Rebuke is also recube, right? So we get into these symbols. So we just look at it. We look at a square. There's four sides. A cube. We're dealing with 6 sides and 8 corners. So they say a magnet has 8 magnetic points. Whoever pulled this up, I have it on my YouTube somewhere where they show the magnetic points. It's like 8 magnetic points, right? When you look at, we're playing with the sounds. Damn, I hope my mic's working here. 8 is also A and then TE, which is getting into ET and all types of stuff. Elliot. But when we look at the basically starting off from ground zero, zero could also be looked at like a seed in the ground. L, M, N, O with the L and the O with the light, and then the ground, and then the seed. So we were thinking about nature. Nature, I was looking into talents versus skill. And talent is natural ability. So I'm thinking a lot of shit. Like Bruce Lee and even BL blue, red and blue, all types of shit. Because when I'm talking about like the two-bowl cane, the first builder, talking about assembling, Bible, the two bulls, two pull. So when we look at two and that two pull, just two is also B. And we're looking at the symbols. But this is going to also, because we're looking at what assembles and the symbols. And now, a symbol, symbol in music is a triangle, which is A. I gotta move around chairs and shit here. But then I started looking into a lot of stuff like aliens and all this stuff. So I'm looking at my shirt, Tupita, and I'm like, we're talking about life. And I was thinking about the beat. Fuck, I got a little room here. All right. Put some notes on the side. And just like repeat is to rebeat. If you move the P to a B, just changing the angles. And when you look at angles, it's A. A-N, N glues. A lot of different ways you could look at that shit. So when we look at the symbol of N, that's also like, that's also the fold. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like we fold laundry in triangles and shit. Even the word triangle. But this also got me into Adam, angels and demons, thinking of time in BC and AD. You know, BC is 2-3. Which is that W. We're also getting into that wave, but we're also getting into the arrows, which is A rows, like row, and it's rowing your boat. And so, what do I mean by this? When we look at symbols like bow tie, 8 is usually the center where the X is and the ribbons, and we hear about Adam giving the rib, and Eve, I see that as energy. We could see that as evening. So I left it off saying when you look into that word delve, I was looking up devil. You look up the Wikipedia, right? So it says, reach inside a receptacle and search for something. She delved in her pocket. Number 2, under archaic, which is another A. Damn. Can you read that shit? Look it up yourself. It's worth it. Archaic, the second definition. It says, when Adam delved and Eve span, who was then the gentleman. So this is under Wikipedia. Hang on. or dictionary.com. It's what comes up under Google. So when you look at that, they use an Adam and Eve reference. Working with it. So I was thinking a lot about talents, and talents is also talent. It's like the bird has talons, and it's like I think of things metaphorically that make sense of things get complicated. So I'm trying to make sense of this, and that happens through talent, and that's what Bruce Lee was about, like a natural ability and all that stuff, right? Versus skill, which is more like programming. And programming is that P, and then rowing. Gram is weight, which is also margin. Back into that symbol. Large agriculture, all types of shit with that. What I was thinking. So when we look up, to me, B is the beat. B is that symbol, then eat. So we look at the symbol 2, that's movement. Nothing moves without a 2. 1 is stagnant. Which also corresponds to the Milky Way thing. So when we see 0, we're looking at different angles. I was saying this is 2-dimensional. I'm going to get another pen here. To D. 2B. 2 is B. And we can also look at that as 2. And then B. So we're going to look at like a tube. And we have words like beauty, B. And then we also have that A slipped in there too. I'm going to get into that. But when that also gets into tubal cane, and we look at the A and the 1, we can also look at that as like an open close. If we look at that as like that compass kind of thing, that for measuring. Or we also see some things like AI and all that stuff. And we know awareness was AE and EA. Which is, I mean, really, this shit is so deep. It also gets into, it's because it's energy. It also gets into breathing, because beating, the first thing is your heart beats and then you breathe. They use RH and blood types kind of stuff. But we have the E. We have words like breach, beach, and I'm getting ahead of myself there. Reach, but be in each. So, shit, you sure what I'm talking about? So we look at 0. We see the Oz in 0. Like repeat, like a beat. We're dealing with vibration. So we have the Oz, like there's this Wizard of Oz thing going on, because from 0, and notice sometimes in some counting systems there's no 0, and ours there is, but 0 equals 10 if you do the 26, 5, 18, 15. 15 breaks down to 6, 18 breaks down to 9, 13, which is 4, and 9, 13, which is 4, and 6 equals 10. 10 actually breaks down to 1, which is that A. And we're also looking at this symbol between the M and the O. So we're looking at this gameplay, which we can also see like a cue ball, which Q, I believe, which is 17, which is 8. M and 8, breaking the 8 with the cue ball. Gets really fucking deep. And you know, there's a pool stick and a ball, and there's a lot of shit. So what I'm saying is, Also, not only can 1 0 we break it down to, but we see 0 rows, and you need a paddle. So we get into that symbol too with the A. Boy, there were no vowels before. Vowel has owl. So we get into this shit where we see low, and we could see that LO, and we look at that like a symbol between the L and the O. The LO, heme, which is a hymn, which is a sound. And shit gets really deep because when we look at oxygen, when we get into weight, W and 8, because so 0 equals 1. So this gets deep, and that's why I'm doing this right now, because I'll probably revisit this and put it down with other notes I had, just seeing what kind of flows to me. But I like the style of freestyling because to me it's all about like getting the flow is about talent, not skill, like what comes to you. I try to do that like new moons or full moons to keep my beat. But this gets into the bafflement too with the B, the movement of A lot of stuff like that, like the movement of that paddle, whatever, right? Which has paddle, with that, it gets deep. And now keep in mind, there's other ways of looking at it too, like LE could also be EL, which is L, which just like breaking down the numbers. I could do that with letters too. And you see the connection. Like Big Bird, I was looking at learning the alphabets and songs. Sesame Street. And you play around with the symbols. Keep that as a lowercase g. 18 breaks down to 9, right? Keep the lowercase d. Like we see these. So what do we have? We have notes. Notes, which notes and tones, which also gets into colors. Tunes and tune. Let's tune into now, to own. But we're given this, it's interesting how Monday, there's one day that's a Monday. One in 10. I forgot what I was saying, but it had to do with the N. So if I watch this again, it'll tie into this note. Because I've seen like 1 in 10, how 10 breaks down to 1. It's just EN is also N. So like I was thinking about Enter the Dragon and Bruce Lee, and how Bruce Lee died 1 month before Enter the Dragon was released in the theaters, and his son Brandon Lee died 1 month before The Crow was released. And it's interesting how Crow represents death, and it's C-row, like zero. Sounds like zero. We also have work. Like Crow, like Chronos, with the whatchamacallit, you know what I mean, for farming, like the 7. So we could see this a lot of ways, like if you look at this halfway between light and shadow, different ways that this abracadabra is kind of used. They both have the BL in their names, which is interesting too. Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee. And that Bruce Lee, we heard his name was changed for whatever 4 movies. Who know, I think there's more to that. So I haven't had, but it's early in the morning. No one's tuning in. But if someone checks this, feel free to comment. Oh yeah, man. I saw Amir. I saw your comment, which made me think of a mirror. Oh man, this shit's crazy. So this game we play, it's like we're separated into different beings. I feel like through this universal energy. And we think of G-force, grounding energy. There's so much shit. Like the cross. This isn't technically a cross, it's a plus. This is a cross. And there's like this split, right? Also has to do with course. In golf course, we say 4 when someone's going to get hit. Damn. Something gets lifted, it's a 4. Cliff. I got to think about this shit. Thinking about rising and falling. But in Ptolemy Soter, you also can kind of, I was thinking about solitaire. And that makes me also think of solid, back to the Wizard of Oz, and air. Because air, we see that O2, which is like that Oz, because the 2 also resembles a Z. And back to the delve into the Adam and Eve thing. In that definition, it said, where's my other phone? Span. It was talking about delving into Eve's span. Just look up the thing. So it got me with span and how that's naps. And the N and the Z, I'm looking at N also relating to ends. And when you look at sleep too, damn. So heaven talks about veganism and things like that. Like I was talking about people I love eat meat and stuff like that, trying to get through to them. But it's not like it's out of like try to do things out of a place of love because I feel responsible. Like it is a game of solitaire for each individual. Whether we're things can be fused. I'm you, you're me, but like boom, like that doesn't make sense. But what makes sense is the responsibility that like I see symbolism in a red carpet rolling and rolling up. Like my thoughts, memories is with me as anybody else. So shit's deep. And then when we get to 2 is movement. We also get into Watt, like Watson. That gets into Sherlock. Now I was talking about dimensions. Get the play button. So now when I get into the pause button is this, right? Damn. We move that sideways, that's a K. K can also be spelled like this, like K Jewelers is a place around us. K can be spelled like that. I see a key in this symbol, as in ace. Has no face, And the C also splits the A and the E. You can see that like an Adam and Eve. We know C is the 3. 3 is T, like a cross, HR. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could be her in there. Damn. Her is in there. Her energy, damn, is in 3. Damn. Oh, shit. That's fucking dope. 3, what was I saying? Shit. K. Damn. Her energy, alternating current. Alternating current energy is another way of looking at that. But I was saying Moses. So we look at the M in the center. Moses, if you have like the A is the 1, the wand. Split the C, which is the current. Different ways of looking at this, which is you could say osmosis, back to that osmosis, because we're dealing with that weight. Os, like OZ is like measuring. Is it 32 grams an ounce or something? Backwards W, am I reaching? I looked that one up. But anyway, we look at the K. Another way of looking at the pause symbols like that. And we know that K is the 11th letter. So what was I saying? Ace has no face, which also gets into the Adam and Eve, the naked thing. And this is something that made me want to get into this in the first place. I got some deep shit. Got some really deep shit here. Oh, fuck. Energy. I may have shown this on another screen, but ties in. Energy, when you do that with the numbers, equals 74. I'm dealing with like kind of a light and shadow thing, the 7 and 4. Or what am I doing? I'm connecting the 7 and 4. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm connecting the 7 and 4 through different angles, same symbols. You also get that. And keep in mind, 7 and 4 is 11, which equals 2, which is B, right? And if you do that, if you look at 2, 2 equals 13, which breaks down to 4. So 2 equals 4. Shit's deep. And this also gets into dimensions and shit like that. But we're getting into 2 equal 4 is also the B equaling the D. So we're looking just kind of like dealing with angles. So what we're doing is an angle is a lean. Loan, alone, own, L before the own, and no. I'm sorry, now. And then we also got that 1. So 1 is also the A. But then we also have this game, winning and losing. Oozing, dealing with, fuck. Damn, that makes me think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the ooze. So many stories, cartoons. That's gonna get. I got notes on cartoons and stuff. So when we look at like emphasis, okay, emphasis. So I was thinking about consciousness, perception, and then intention. Having to do with that scepter as well. The scepter, interceptor, receptor. We know the arc, which also can be looked like as a U is 21, which is also that 3. Fuck. So there's different ways of looking at this, like because M equals 13, but M is also the symbol of 3. So I look at this as like that folding and unfolding. And if you look at the word point, hang on. Back with that symbol, and then we got, you can see like, oh shit, the N is pointing. Well, back to this notes and tone thing, right? AB is 1, 2. 2 BA, like baffle, is tone. Tone omits. notes. They say the first instrument was the drum. Rumble. Thinking about bowl is also pull. And then you also think about pupil, like the so you got the OP. We're dealing with directions too. Down with OPP. I don't know. That's a reach, but we got that PON. Just like, Jamaican, pat you this pawn the left pawn, pass the duchy pawn the left hand side. So dealing with direction. We're also dealing with dawn. Dawn has to do with light. So from here to here is AM. Wake. Wake is a wave from a ship. If you look at the A, that could also be seen as a wake or at A. Shit gets so deep. So emphasis is also M faces. So damn. You think about direct. We're also dealing with rib. When I'm showing how I look at the words, we're also dealing with rib. So only we're dealing with Adam's rib. Ect is also, not only is it etc., it's also electricity, it's also X, etc. That's how you spell it, that's how you say it. Also the god Set. So this gets really fucking deep. So when I look into the alchemy of the alphabet, with the symbol, the AL, the LA, and G, wedge. So G is like that energy wedge, the casing, lowercase, uppercase, it's like L-O-ing the rib, and I'm going to get into this shit. Okay, so I was thinking of 99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer, and just like sounds and songs, right? Because Psalms is the center of the Bible. It's got the longest verse, the shortest verse, and it's the direct center of the Bible. Here's that symbol. Somebody gave me this glass and this fell off, right? Bucknell University. Same with that B, and the B is like right above the sun. Psalms, center of the Bible, is dealing with the songs. So maybe think about the programming. And you could see how there's like two C's, like mirroring each other. Like Moses split the sea, the Red Sea, Red Sun. A lot of different ways of looking at this. But we also see Sam. We could say that L is also can be silent. And if it's silent, we could also see maps and all types of shit. So this is part of like that gameplay. Course, maps dealing with course. Then you can see the words like cursive, course. But in that omni elemento, you'll see money. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff in money too. I know I'm too early for anybody, but if anybody catches this, that's what's up. So we look at Plato's cave, TO, to do something, anything. To is from one thing to another, and it's play, which is also lay. See, we got that P, lay. A, notice we got that A. I mean, there's a lot of different ways of looking at this shit. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. To, movement, cave. And then cave, you could see vacant, like vacant, vacation. I need to get away. So I'm thinking in this Adam and Eve thing with the delve and the span, and how span is also naps. And I'm thinking wingspan, like a wingspan. Shit gets so fucking deep. Wingspan. Like you don't have one wing, it's always wings. So not only do we have like Jin, but we have sign. Sign has a G in there, silent. Silent. Sigh is to breathe out. So when we look at the center as the heart, H8, H art, like the art of the H, heaven and hell. Also makes me think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rat Splinter. What do they say? Movement, ole, like the E that looks could be like energy too when you move that wand above the E. Wander, but A sounds like A. So metamorphosis. Now keep in mind, utter is to say something. Utter or to see something on your breath. So look that one up. Fine. All right. But B. Utterfly. Metamorphosis is from the caterpillar. And we have pillar, the pillar. And we also have cat. Shit gets so deep. Cat we know is act. Tick. And then tack is in the center, and then toe. So we see tack is in the center, which is that act. So we can look at that action, just like the N is in the center with that pointing, action. And all these symbols of axe cutting the tree. Throwing the towel. So not only do you have that 1-3 and that alternating current, this shit is so deep. This shit is so deep. Again, it's the time too when you break down time. I was thinking something about Beetlejuice. Okay, so I was thinking about Predator at the beginning, right? I was thinking about prep air, like back to that Oz, like prep. Re is like that repeat. So if we look at vibration, I think we went from Aquarius, now we're going into Pisces. It's still the tail end of Aquarius. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn. This shit's deep. When you look at Amadeus, not only do we have day, we also have Mason. Shit. Because his first name was Wolfgang. What's up, brother? Chilling like a villain. I talked to Pete and got today off because it's snowing. He wants to do his trucks after.
You said we got today off?
Yeah, but you could come here. Let's get it in.
You do what?
The
shop.
Right. Could work on that boat.
No, we gotta organize that shit for your uncle.
Yeah.
both got to continue.
Yup. So we look at the capital D split from a 0 with the LO, 2 D's, shadow and light.
What are you doing?
I'm writing something down, bro. I don't want to forget it.
Oh. All right. I had a class this morning. I got something else I got to go look at, and then I'll be down there.
All right, cool, man. I'll be here.
All right.
All right, peace.
All right.
So we look at sign in wings. Damn. Sign your name. Put your energy in name. Damn. What was I thinking about? Amen. I skipped the beat. The amen. I wrote something down. I don't know where the hell I wrote it. I can go off this and I'll remember. That amen. Whatever it is on here. With the ability, I was getting into the talents. N is between the two T. But also Cain and Abel. So we look at Cain. We say arcane. Could you see Ain as any? I don't know. I'm reaching because I'm trying to find where. Oh yeah. Let me get back. Solitaire. That told me solitaire. And I was thinking of solid air. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, we could really mix it in that. And then just about every astronaut has alien in their name when you scramble the letters of their name. It's interesting, you can finally play around with this. Looking at solitaire, solidaire. We also got I was looking at that split. Back with that now. Wait to that. Breaking. This could be looked at as now. When you're writing the cursive, the symbols, because we're doing like a back and forth kind of angle, like almost like when you see those like fish underwater, deep sea fish that light up. That makes me think of chakras too, that we can't see. And I think about things like UV, QRST, Christ, and then we have UV, which can be seen as devil, because it could be like LU when we're doing that, like that N and the Z kind of thing. And we have cipher. I was thinking about devil. Cipher is hidden. So I was saying before, hidden, the word hid. 2 Ds can sound as one. It can also be like this, which is also 2-dimensional. EN is N. It's also hide. So we got hide and hidden, like it was done in the past. And I want to see something past. Bastard. Which is also like bar, like past bar. Shit. No. See, some things can tangle up. You can create a narrative by, like, if you have a certain place you want to go with it, you can fucking, it's interesting how energy dances between sounds and symbols. So I was thinking about how anybody can justify like anything in the name of Jesus if they associate that like feeling of omnipotence or whatever through saying. And you think about it, that's the English came later. That wasn't even the name. It was IHS, and before that. So it gets into. I was thinking about bastard his having to do with that his story. So we know story is tails. So tails is that Tesla, which is with that 369. So they have you getting into life and death, and deeds or actions with intention or consciousness, and dead is dead. Another way I was thinking about with that A. I'll get into more shit. Oh shit. Mozart's name was a lot longer than that. Yo, so Mozart's name, check this out. Deus is deuce too. Also like that Bible, that two bowl. Amadeus. Hang on. This shit's deep. Baptized. So his name, he was baptized. It says J. Oannis. Joannis with Oannis. Chris. Christ. OS, like the Oz. Thomas. Book of Thomas was removed from the Bible. I mean, there's a lot of these fucking crazy, right? That was his whole name. You see that on here? No one's on here, but if anyone watches this, shit, maybe I'll take it down and restream this. I think I'm in the flow here. I'm gonna add to this shit. I'm gonna see some of this again, but I'm gonna tie this in with more stuff. It's Epiphanies or Energy. J. Oannis. Price. OS. Thomas. Wolf. And in the gang, I see the G-force as the two opposing G's. Another way of splitting the cross. Because you like that centering and that balance. So in balance, this is the shit I want to get into. Fuck, this is deep. Balance. Wait till I find my notes. Well, this is fresh. Remember, ace has no face. So we look at like also emphasis. I got notes all over the place. But also the Book of Tom. Tom is also T-O, which is that 2. And then we got the M, we got that movement. And she gets deep. So the cube talking about rebuke is recube. Think about this. When we think of the Q, the queen bee is a Q, and then the more like queuing up the movement. So this just also gets into order and all that. LMNO sounds like a minnow, right? LMNO is minnow, like a minnow, small fish. Movement, like how to do momentum, how to do also with moments. You got moment, and then you got So Tom, we also could look at that as like, we see the plus. Mato. Mato, low, low, go. And they got logos, and we also think of Legos having to do with that assembly. But I got more on that AD too, getting into numbers and stuff. Because that 1-4 is also the end. The AD is that 1-4, right? So we're also getting into that 1-4, which is also seen as the 14 with that N. BC is also a 2-3, which is also getting into the Q, which is also getting into that Q ball. And just so we look at the symbol of the Q, just like the L and the other way of looking at that beat. But I want to tie this into my beat presentation because it also gets into B with that movement, and then eat, which is also the tie, the tying. BIT. I don't know. You can see that. What I see like two different forms of two in different angles. Into the A, be pronounced like that. We're dealing with time. Yeah, work. Back into that vibration, that pause symbol, because pause is either pause or 11 equals 2, which is movement. So that's kind of how I see that too. This would be the pause, because it's like breaking that away in the G-force kind of symbolism, or I was doing other way. Into that bow tie. So let's see, bow tie. We got now, and we got tie, like tying now, and bow tie. We got that movement, so we got that movement of that B, to, own, tie, or the knot. Is that like we make the bed we sleep in? I don't know, but when we look at sleep, like also I was saying how span is naps, which we could see zaps. This shit is so fucking deep because the Z is also like a S too. We're doing this back and forth movement of sound and whatever. So as far as wingspan, span, when we look at sleep, it's got the PS and then it's got the P at the end, right? And if we look at it this way, it's peels. And then we say A peels, dealing with attraction. Check it. I'm looking at symbols too of ways of breaking the 8 and how ace can always, K can be looked at like ace too. So we look at words like cook, Moses splinter CCOO, which is also sideways 8. So we could look at this as in the oven and out of the oven. We also see that M symbol here. A lot of different ways. So we put the C in here and it comes out like this. A lot of different ways of looking at that one. Well, we're dealing with the same sound coming out as a different symbol in the oven and out the oven. Damn, let's right back to work too. Gotta call my boy back. And then pause. We can also look at that as swap. But I was thinking about predator, predator. Oh, fuck. That's shit. That's real vibration. Dealing with that little dude in the boat with the 2 paddles. We're also dealing with that and the movement. Yak end would be like a jack. Like a jack is something you plug in. It's all Yakin is also dealing with that one in the singularity and duality. If you look at it, look it up. JH and I don't know, heaven. Boa constrictor. Don't know, but we're also dealing with the N and the Z, right? Because keep in mind, this is all like occult stuff. So if you look at the ends, dealing with the N and the Z, Boaz is the 2, J is the 10, which is also the 1. So 1, 2, 2, 1, dealing with that tone, right? Tone and vibration. And then we got the N and the Z, like now I lay me down to sleep. I gets really deep. I look at word bed, in bed to in bed, some program bed. There's a lot of dancing we could do here. Just dance. D. Then we got Cain. Shit, I guess we're having to do with that ability to dance. Cain and Abel. See, that's what happens. I had coffee, I got up, and now I'm getting tired. Oh, shit. This shit's also made me think about the Mayan. Bro Sancho's talking about Mayan. A is also AY. Different ways of looking at that, right? Going back to the center. So hearts also look like hertz. Hearts of 71 if you spell it with a plural. Lure to lure. And we get into that symbol. Damn, shit's fucking deep. P, that symbol, that luring. The A and the L, like remember? MNO, Minno, and Fit. I get into a lot of stuff. I don't want to repeat shit I already did because I want to tie that into like a stop and go presentation. Sometimes I kind of ramble waking up early in the morning, but I know I'm going to connect some sick fucking dots. And when you look at, just speaking of, like the N as the 2 triangles breaking down the square, we get into dimensions. M and the N. Hang on. Dim is like dim, getting into occult. Also mid garden, mid L. Zion, noise. Getting ahead of myself here. Gotta take a breather. Because things will show themselves. I also think when you can wash, they show themselves. And you know that like wash is A, show is O, and 0, 1 came from the 0, and just different ways of looking at that, how show and then wash. Like, you know, think about the Buddhist thing where they play with the sand and then rinse it away, and then connect with that energy, vibration. Damn, we'll get into that. Ratios and vibration. Damn. I just saw that too. I don't know. It could be a reach from connecting dots. If you look at the V and that I, and then we got that symbol, ratio. So if we look at the VI, that's also like a split N if we're going in the opposite direction. Another way I could look at it is the center of the alphabet. I'll think about omnipresence, omnipresence, different ways of looking at this. Shit, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. We'll see this on a lot of Native American symbols. This is like some epiphany shit. Which also looks like a fish. And we also have that opening and closing. But we could look at this as like opposing like colors, triangles. 3 triangles going this way. So you can see it's going that way, different angles where how you shine the light. If we look at that like as a fold, like you can fold it in half. And then I also look at that sideways changing the angles as Baphomet's head. Hang on. If you look at Baphomet, where we get 2, 1, BA. Hang on. Shit. It's like this. Like that. It's got the legs in, like a goat. And then we also see the horns. And then goat is go at. A lot of ways we could look at this. At is A+ is the highest grade. I'm gonna get more into that shit. Get more into what I see in money. Something I minus and multiply. Waiting for a 9, I'm doing Roman numerals. I got so many notes. But when I do this, I like to freestyle and get into stuff. 14 flipped is also HI, which is high. Like we wave high, we wave by, which both have that I, that element. There's different ways of looking at that. See, I don't have anybody tuning in right now, so I'll get back into this. But we look at pentagram. Pent up, like energy would also deal with pressure. So I'll get more into like casing, lowercase and uppercase. Because when we look at a seesaw, we're dealing with that weight. So putting meaning and naming. Something Mona Lisa. Find my Mona Lisa notes. And look at Batman, like the movement of the Atman. And I'll get into that. Also looking at paid. I got to get to work. We'll look at paid, get the P, and then we got that AI, and then the D, the flip. So this also has to do with like that movement and value, which also has to do with volume, how much money you make. And I see shit like this Stephen Munchkin. It was scrambled that. That's Munchkin in like Emerald City. And they say in shit, man, Wizard of Oz. And we see Oz and all the symbolism too, with the N flipped and the symbols. If you look for it, know how to look. But in B2. Also, like we found out that there's numerology with the letters and numbers if you look in all your money. But the Emerald City is crazy. If you the book, nobody sleeps in the Wizard of Oz. Just like money never sleeps. Kind of like me today. But checkmate. Had to do with Adam. I'm just spitting off some notes here. I gotta put this together, but when you think of prey, we're talking about predator and prey, how prey is also prey. Has to do with purr, vibration of the cat. And then A. Action. Oh fuck, that's crazy too. Damn. We look at the word talent, the two crosses. Well, we could say talents. We see the two crosses, and we got alien in the center. Jesus was that alien. All this cryptic stuff, right? And so when we look at talents, we also have Tesla and talents. Damn, I'm glad I got that one off before I check out. That's one that's going to lead me to the next one. I don't want to repeat stuff I already said. Another quote that I like was ambition is, I don't know who said it. The ambition's handicapped by laziness. I think there's something kind of like, we got to use quotes that were said before in the present, like now, and not just stuck in the past, because it's always now, but it's a balancing act, right? Which also makes me think of the magician Blaine, right? David Blaine. Damn. And then work is row 11. If work is row 11, then we also got roll, ROWL, which also could be lower L. Different ways of looking at that, because you also look at L as an up, down, like light, but L can also can be put like view, which is almost. So we know L is 12, which is 3. Depending on how you look at it. There's just connecting dots. Can be. It's not is, it's like can be, depending on what angle you look at it. So L, so what am I getting at? The pause symbol, row. So roll. So I'm thinking, I gotta reconnect my notes when I get a chance here. To kind of skip the beat, but when you look at beat and depth, it's just say B and D flip, right? You got that H. Also in beat, we got bait, we got beta, we got that movement symbol with ETA. Oh, this shit's too deep. I gotta revisit this on my next. But okay, and Predator, check this shit out. This is quicker for me to do this. I want to end like strong here. We also got red Torah, right? And then we got that same like that movement and red Torah, Ader, different ways of looking at that. But then we get into this whole thing of the world rotating. Want me to believe that we're on a spinning ball. And I'm like decoding this through symbols and sounds. How I see it. Well, I want to do more. I'm going to get more into money and things like that on the next. If somebody checks this, thank you. I probably got to take a nap. to the next. Check out my beat presentation when I get it in. I only got a couple hours of sleep last night, but I was feeling it. Just had a coffee. Now I gotta relax, drink some water. Peace. Deuces.